G'day everyone, welcome back to Nerdling's Asylum. Today I'm going to be making a diorama of some kind using stuff that I've got lying around. I've got some floor mat foam, I've got some scrap MDF that I'm going to be using, and I'm just going to be getting bits and pieces off of these shelves here to make a diorama. I have no idea what I'm doing, but let's get cracking. So today we're making this church diorama out of some random stuff, and I've decided, let's just use what I've got lying around. So I've got some floor foam here just building up a bit of ground for the church to go onto. Damn, I work fast. Look at me go. Trying to just carve out some steps that are going to lead up to it. Had to use a Stanley knife instead, and now cutting a bit of wood. This is another thing that I've just had lying around. So making some really small fence posts. Oh boy, there are a lot of fence posts. They were very small and tedious to try and do, but there they go down very, very quickly. I had to make some more, and later on I had to make some more again. And to go between the fence posts, you need a bit of rope. So I just had some shoe polish, a bit of water, threw some string in just to make it not so clean looking, because that really would not have worked well for this. So just in there, give it a quick little soak and skip ahead, and this is now the front of the church that apparently I either didn't film or I lost the footage too. So yeah, this is what this is where we're at right now. And I've got some gravestones down there, which is the ends of some popsicle sticks shoved into the ground, which again will be removed later on and replanted. That strip of grass there, had to remove that. So here I'm just making out some of the roofing. So that little notch, that's tried to get a 45-degree angle. I didn't measure anything. I cut out a little notch to sit over the posts that are there for the main building of the church. As you can see there, that's roughly how it will look. So as you can see, beautifully framed, beautifully in focus. I'm not blocking this shot at all, and that's roughly what I was talking about, that little notch there for the post to go into. Just fix that. Yep, fix that first and then we'll talk. Fix that focus. Don't move the camera, fix the focus, mate. There you go, now you got it. Well done. So there's the first one, just a bit of PVA glue. I was quite nervous that it wasn't going to stay there, but I knew when it dried, it wasn't going anywhere. It was just those first few moments of getting it to stay. And as you can see, it does not line up in any way, shape or form, but threw some paddle pop sticks on there and that helped it out a lot. And obviously I just sort of slapped them on, so I had to cut them away again. So I didn't want to have to measure, cut and then glue. So I thought it'd be an ingenious idea to slap them on and then cut them out with my rotary tool. So normally you'd cut it so it's lined up, but if you see the left and the right sides, I've cut a bit higher on one side because I am smart. So the little church diorama test thing that I'm doing is turning out pretty decently. Lots and lots of cutting of these little paddle pop sticks, but there's one thing that I've now thought of. There's an open door at the front and you're going to be able to see inside. Originally I was just going to have it as a building with nothing inside, but that's now no longer the case. So now I have to make it really, I was thinking I could make like a little mini bench seats and a little tiny altar and all that, but I feel like if I had a 3D printer that'd be a lot easier to do, and I can't be bothered trying to make the bench seats from all of the little paddle pop sticks. So instead I'm just going to have it as an altar, and that's it, and a cross up on the wall behind it. That's good enough. because this is very tedious. This is already taking a lot longer than I was expecting, but let me just show you real quick what I'm talking about. So as you can see, I've done the back wall, I've done the front of this church thing here, but the doorway here, you can see straight in. Yeah, so that's a bit of a problem. So there's going to be a little altar that you can see through here, and yeah, possibly a cross on the wall. Yeah. So let's make a really small little, here's the stuff cut up for it, little tiny altar. And it's time to glue it all up. Yay. Yeah, so I think going with the really tiny bench seats and altar, that would have been far too small for me to be able to do well. Because once I put this in, there really wasn't a lot of room for anything else. So just a bit of white paint, did a couple of layers of that just to sort of base it. And then whilst that's drying, time to put on this grass here and my lovely weights. Bit of gold trim. Why gold trim? I don't know. I don't even know what an altar really looks like, but that's a crack at it. I didn't even look up any photos, probably should have done that. But here I've just got some brown acrylic paint and a lot of water just to get a bit of a brown wash going on. And yeah, just to try and muddy it up a bit. I don't know why I was staying away from the gold. I genuinely have no idea at all. I'm sure there was a reason for it. I'm sure it was a great, valid reason. It made sense. But I did anyway. So yeah, just let that dry for a little bit, wipe it off, and there you go, Bob's your uncle. That's the effect that you get. So this bit of plastic here that I cut across out of, blue tacked it to the back wall and just throw on a bit of gold paint over the top to get something. Again, not sure what I was really going for. This guy kind of just made this entire thing up as I went along. Now, putting these ropes on was, Christ, it was tedious and very awkward. I didn't have tweezers on hand, so it'd be cool to have tweezer hands for this very specific purpose, but also it would become quite annoying for everyday stuff. But I digress. Here we go. Let's build up the size of this building and make it look like a proper building now. And this is about the only thing that I measured. It didn't even work out properly. I was hoping to put this brown wash on and go into the little cuts that I made, and it would look good, but I ended up having to paint them on anyway, so that was hours of work that was just for literally no reason. But we're back to the brown paint and water wash here for the rest of the building so that everything matches. So you don't want just one very white panel, so make everything kind of blend in a little bit. And now to cut in some windows, you can see I'm just using a sanding bit to cut a hole in the wood, and that created so much smoke. And then just for the straight lines to go down, just the cutting bit of the rotary tool. And that was it, really. I didn't put anything in there. I mean, if I was to do, I may do this again in a few years' time and just sort of have a comparison as I get better with doing these kind of things and see what I do. At least then I'll have some kind of a plan. I don't know what I'm trying to create, but this, again, making it up as I went along. But here is a box of stuff. There's some grass at the top there, there's some sand and rocks. Most of that stuff was bought after I'd started this challenge. But I just wanted a bit of moss going up the sides and the corners and crevices of this building just to show that I don't know if it's maybe not in use anymore, or people just don't look after it, or yeah, there's a story here that I'm trying to create. So now I'm putting out down just regular brown paint on the ground because I've got all of this grass to put down, and if there's any spots where you can see through, you'll see brown instead of black. And then just seal it up with a misting of PVA and water. Pro tip: run straight water through the sprayer after using it so it doesn't clog up with glue. Learned that from Black Magic Craft. So here I'm making up as I go along. Throw some more PVA down leading up to the doorway, and then sprinkling down some sand. So this would obviously indicate a high traffic area walking into the building, and I don't think lush grass would stay very lush for very long. Now here it is. I've got rid of all of those that I've done. I painted them and everything, but now I'm getting rid of them. I didn't know what to do, so yeah, I put down more of that grass stuff. So could have put down a big sheet, but did in sections with them. I'm smart like that. But here's more of those fence palings things, fence posts, not palings, posts. But I did reuse the tombstones, and here we go.